Good afternoon, Baller family. The Shotcallers are back after a bit of a hiatus. The off season started for us just like it did for the NBA. We apologize for the gap between episodes. Sometimes some extraneous circumstances keep us away from the microphones, but not away from y'all in our hearts. We know that you missed us. We missed you guys, and we're here to give you guys another solid hour of NBA talk. Here, my man Andre. Say what's up to the people, Andre.
What is up, people? Long time no chat.
I'm your host, Rich. JV is missing from this particular episode, but he'll be back next week, ready to chat it up, talk about some summer league stuff and the final shakings, the final developments of this crazy topsy-turvy offseason, this free agency period that went off with a bang. Super crazy. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let's go ahead and get started. Andre, what stood out to you the most, or what's the most immediate thing in your mind from this wild-ass offseason, or this wild-ass free agency
wild
period?
is a bit of an understatement, man. But, yeah, the craziest thing, man, I'm gonna take you back to Friday. I'm out at the bar, chilling, having a few drinks. My phone buzzes. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Everyone's like trying to see, obviously Kawhi is like the man.
So this is
the
Friday,
man of the month. Last Friday.
July 5th, right?
July 5th, yeah, today.
The day after the 4th of Kawhi.
Right. So I'm just chilling, having a few drinks. It's pretty late. I'm like, hey, what's going on here? I see a notification showing that Kawhi Leonard just signed with the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm like, what? Because up until that point, everyone's thinking, oh, it's definitely Lakers. All the media reports the Lakers. It's either Lakers or Toronto. But for the Clippers to come up out of nowhere, but that wasn't even the most surprising thing. So the most surprising thing is I keep reading. I see the next tweet. It says, Paul George, OKC has agreed to trade Paul George to the Clippers. I'm like, man, that came out of complete left field, like blindsided everyone because no one heard anything about this at all.
Hell
Rich,
yeah.
did you hear anything about this?
No way, man. I was watching a movie with my girlfriend from Netflix on Friday night. It was like 1 a.m. I kind of see my phone. It's off to the side. It buzzes once or twice. And I see that it's the chat from, me, you, and JV where we talk about the NBA and we kind of have everything. I was like, well, if they're talking about that at this time, something must have happened.
Yeah, something's going on. My phone is too much action for Friday night, right?
4 hours have been, or 4 messages have gone by. I'm like, something's, and it's this late at night. Something crazy must have happened. We've been waiting on Kawhi all week long. And let me just say, I don't know what to expect from the NBA every year. We have a crazy ass trade deadline, crazy ass free agency period every couple years, and we're like, man, how are they going to top this? I thought that this year was going to go kind of like when LeBron was waiting to go back to Cleveland. He waited till July 4th. Kevin Durant's waited. Certain players, the biggest top free agents, have waited, and everyone kind of sees where they're going to go before the dominoes start falling. And, we had the most signings we've ever had in the shortest amount of time this year.
Right.
Like all but 15 players were off the board in the first 8 hours. Like the Nets and Kyrie and Kevin Durant, that was reported before the moratorium even really started.
Right.
So that was crazy. But yeah, we're talking about Kawhi Leonard here. We had the earthquake in summer league in 2 places. In Las Vegas.
two earthquakes in one night. Actually, wasn't it? Yeah.
From Las Vegas all the way over to
SoCal.
SoCal, exactly. And then, but what we found out later was that it was not. It was not a.
It wasn't the tectonic plate shifting around. It was just Kawhi saying, "I'm coming here."
Yeah, it was a Kawhi earthquake. Man, that was insane. And so with Paul George, can you imagine being a Thunder fan? Like me and you were like, "Hey, I wonder what's gonna happen. Maybe the decision will come out tomorrow." Going to sleep Friday night. They got they go to sleep at bedtime. It's 10 p.m. for them Central Time, and they go to sleep. They wake up and they see that their team has been basically torn apart. All these picks. And the timeline is looking suddenly very different from what they might have expected going into next year.
It's like living in a house and you wake up the next day and our roommates are all gone.
And the roof is gone. No more.
It's like Will Smith standing in the room saying they don't want. Why
don't they want me, man?
What?
Man. Don't make us sad, man. That Fresh Prince episode gets me every time.
But yeah, man, this has been an insane summer. I feel like every off season, like year to year, it's been crazier and crazier. This came completely out of left field. I can't imagine. I don't understand how the Clippers are such a professional front office. They didn't let anything slip out. No one saw this coming. All the analysts were saying it's either Toronto or the Lakers. And for them to get this kind of deal to happen, I mean, I think it does show a lot for the Clippers front office.
Yeah, quite a few reporters were saying the Clippers had no chance. It was all Lake Show. maybe they'll stay with the Raptors one more year. And I was kind of thinking the same way. I thought he'd stay on the Raptors myself, but when a report came out that he supposedly wanted to get multiple years, which is what he ended up getting from the Clippers, signed a 4-year max deal. When I heard that he wanted 4 years, I thought that that would possibly diminish the Raptors' chances of re-signing him, because while they have a good chance of winning a title in this seemingly wide open NBA this coming year, the players are still good. Kawhi Leonard's still good, and health permitting, have a good run at the Eastern Conference, since we don't have an established super team to have to take down. At least at this point, I figured a 1+1 where Kawhi Leonard can make another choice next year, that would, be beneficial and give the Raptors a great shot to keep him for at least once more, run it back, defend the title. But when I heard it was multiple years, he wanted to lock it up and kind of just settle down, I thought it'd be not as good of an opportunity for the Raptors to keep him, because outside of, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, some young, promising NBA players, maybe all defensive players, maybe most improved players. I think Pascal Siakam, didn't he win that award? Most improved this year?
Yeah, he got it.
So outside of that, in year 3 or 4, what else do they really have going for them? Kyle Lowry, Marcus Gasol, Danny
both
Green.
of those guys were Marcus all. Well, they're both up next season.
Well, yeah. And they're
old.
They're all getting pretty old. So how much longer is this going to be going in year 3 and year 4? So I didn't think I wanted to count the Clippers out. As hard as they were scouting him all year long. He's from San Diego.
Yeah, he's from San Diego.
Yeah, and so
he went to school there.
Out of a SoCal guy, and just the fact that the Lakers, as much attention as the Lakers get, as much media scrutiny, the press is always there. It's like a final scrum every time you go in there.
Yeah.
Just for a regular game with LeBron, with Anthony Davis. Kawhi Leonard has established that he's the man. He's the man in his own mind. He wants to control his own destiny. He doesn't want to ride any coattails, and
he gets everything on his terms.
Exactly. Yeah. He wants it the way that he wants it. So it just didn't seem to me that the Lakers was a fit for him personality wise. Even though it would give him a really, really amazing chance to win.
Yeah. So I agree with you on pretty much all of that, but just seeing him go to the Clippers, I can see that happening. But the thing that hit me is just the Paul George signing as well. That just instantly makes them. Would you say they're the number one contender? They're definitely. I feel like they're the strongest team.
It's definitely up there. It's possible. Their defense looks really good. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are both really good defenders. They haven't been defending at the heights that we've seen them in their prime. They've both been slowed down a little.
Well, Paul George I feel like he was definitely in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year last season.
Yeah, but they've had some injuries.
They have.
He's got the torn labrum and the torn rotator cuff, one on each arm.
Yeah, I think he had surgery at the end of the season.
He had to have 2 surgeries, one on the left shoulder, and one on the right shoulder at different times, because if you would have had surgery on both arms, he'd have no way to just walk around his house and eat food. But I hope for a speedy recovery. I hope he's back to the levels that he, near MVP, top 3 MVP voting this year. But like I said, they've taken a little bit of a step back there, getting a year older each year. But if they're both taking a load off of one another, we got Lou Williams coming off the bench, can run a great pick and roll.
Patrick Beverly, who re-signed.
Patrick Beverly, he can run the offense as well.
Another great defender. You got Landry Shamet.
So all that said, they definitely are super stacked. I think they can definitely win. It depends on how well they fill out the roster around them. I think they could use a little more size, at center.
Yeah, because they're starting Montrezl Harrell, and then they probably got Zubac coming off the bench.
Yeah, and so neither of those guys. Both of those guys are workhorses. Both of those guys are smart players. Harrell is a little bit smaller, and then Zubac is bigger, but he's not someone you want to play 25, 29 minutes depending on the matchup. You might want to get a third center in that rotation. So
a little bit of a better rim protector probably. Yeah, but I don't know, man. Just looking at this roster on paper, they seem like a defensive powerhouse. It's except for the size at the center, but I don't know, man. They're looking like the team to beat right now for the league. What about you, Richard? What was the craziest thing for you aside from this Clippers supernova,
dude,
this earthquake?
Well, Jimmy Butler going to the earthquake. Jimmy Butler going to South Beach. We talked about Kawhi Leonard wanting to have it on his terms. We don't know what terms Jimmy Butler wants exactly. He wants to. He
says he wanted to win.
He wants to win, but he wants to be the guy, and he wants to. He's a cool guy. He likes the attention. You know what I mean? He went on that interview last season after that debacle of a Timberwolves practice with Rangers.
The practice match, third stringers against the starters.
Exactly. Y'all need me. Y'all fucking need me. And so he went on an interview with Rachel Nichols on national TV immediately. So he wants the limelight. You know, he's a cool guy. I mean, I'd like to hang out with him. That video of him on South Beach playing some dominoes, just kind of
him and his boys,
kind of looking the part. He likes to look the part, and he wants people that play hard. And in Miami, we know they play hard. They have body mass or body fat index weigh-ins like weekly.
Oh wow!
So
yeah, it's super intense over there, man.
So I think he wants someone a place that can match his intensity. He can live the celebrity lifestyle, and he can be the number one guy at least for the time being. Who knows what he'll decide a year from now or 2 years from now. He's been a little disgruntled at the end of every stop so far, basically. But we've seen what he can do. I think Philadelphia is really going to miss him. He was the guy that was running their offense. They took the ball out of Ben Simmons' hands and gave it to Jimmy Butler. Said, Jimmy Butler, go ahead and take us home because Ben Simmons can't do this for us as of yet. He doesn't have that go-to move. That said, they gave Ben Simmons that extension. What was it, 5 years?
I think it's like 5 years,
107. It's a lot of millions.
Yeah, so, I don't know if they've signed it yet.
They put the eggs in the Ben Simmons basket, and why wouldn't you? He's got so much creativity.
He's got such a huge upside.
So much size, so much athleticism. He can get wherever he wants to on the court if he can develop some kind of moves.
Their best defender.
Exactly. Well, Joel Embiid. When Joel Embiid is off the floor, their rating tanks. But anyway, so they got Joel Embiid, they got Ben Simmons, but they lost Jimmy Butler and they got Al Horford. So they got this gigantic lineup, and then Josh Richardson as well from the Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm.
Those 4 dudes could all make an all defensive team next year. So that's the one that I think could definitely give them a run for their money as far as the Clippers and Lakers go. Them, the Bucks, another year of continuity, even though they had a couple changes year over year since they lost Malcolm Brogdon. So any of those 4 teams, I think you could talk me into them winning the title. Okay. So I'm really, really excited for this year. It's like there's no super team. There's no 3 stars. It's like a bunch of duos all over the league.
Yeah, definitely a lot more parity this time around. Brooklyn's looking really good with KD's.
We didn't even talk about Kevin Durant.
We
haven't talked about what minute are we in? Like 15 minutes in?
Yeah, I mean just the earthquake, bro. Like, God. But no, man. Yeah, Brooklyn. So the sign and trade for KD to Brooklyn. D'Angelo Russell going to the Warriors.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Like.
So that was pretty crazy to me. On top of that, so they lost Andre Iguodala. They traded him to the Memphis Grizzlies to clear some room so they could sign D'Angelo Russell on that sign and trade. And I don't think they got very good value back. They had to give away assets to Memphis. Memphis got picks from Golden State. I think 2022 unprotected. If it's not 2022, it's 2024. I'll have to double check that. But that's wild as well. So we all know the Warriors are leaving Oracle. They played their last game already.
Going to Chase, San Francisco, all that,
Chase,
blah, blah. And
they want to open up a new stadium. They want to be winning. Klay Thompson's not going to be on the floor, at least
until at least the All-Star break is what they're saying.
7 months is kind of where they're leaning. I'm sure they're going to be conservative with them. They definitely don't want to rush him back and have any kind of setbacks. Because
especially if they're paying, they're giving him the max. So,
exactly. Yeah. So after the Kevin Durant thing.
You got to get your money's worth.
Definitely not. So they don't want to go into this Chase Center and put up a dud with just Steph Curry and some role players.
Right.
They wanted to add D'Angelo Russell, have some flash. Say, all right, we got a temporary splash brother here until we get all 3.
And even then, he's a young guy who has value. So if he doesn't fit well, they can kind of move him beginning in December of this year.
Maybe so. And I think Bob Myers is a really good GM. December 16th, I think, is the day that they can sign. They can trade free agents that they signed this season, or trade players that they signed this season. But who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? But I thought that was wild as well. Definitely a different Warriors team than we're accustomed to seeing. So I'm excited to see how they can mix it up and how competitive they can be. They got Kevon Looney on a great deal, 2 years, $5 million a year.
Yeah, it's I think it's 3 years.
3 years, $5 million.
3 years, $5 million. Yeah, $15 million. Yeah, that's pretty much a steal for that guy because, as you saw, in the playoffs, he's a big, can defend well, has a good shot. Pretty much the big that most contending teams are going to want on their team. I mean, so to get him for $5 million a year,
Dwight Powell got $11 million. I think the Mavs overpaid a little bit there.
That's a damn good steal. But I mean, he's 23, so at the end of this contract, he'll still be in his prime, and he'll have, I think, a good opportunity to make a whole bunch of money. But still, a steal's a steal. But Golden State they got to make some serious moves because they're moving Iguodala, losing KD, lost Boogie. What else?
No more Quinn Cook.
Yeah, Quinn Cook's gone. Jordan Bell's gone. So
he's on the Timberwolves.
They have to really fill this line out, especially with Klay Thompson missing. So Alfonso McKinney's still there. Yeah, they got some spots to fill. They're not looking too deep right now. They picked up Alec Burks from Sacramento, Mari Spellman from Atlanta. I don't know, Jordan. I feel like Golden State's definitely they got their work cut out for them next season, especially with everything that's going on in the West right now.
Yeah, because they got Steph Curry, D'Angelo Russell to start the season, Draymond Green, Kevon Looney. So that's good, pretty solid, passable defense from your bigs. Steph Curry definitely tries on defense. D'Angelo Russell hasn't been good in the past. Who knows what Steve Kerr can put into him, what Draymond Green can show him, and kind of help him get committed to do. But without Klay Thompson, they got Alfonso McKinney there, and we've seen how that story goes when he's on the floor.
Yeah.
Somewhere for them to attack, and you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they definitely got some shuffling to do. But the thing about that sign and trade is that it puts you at a hard cap, so it really makes it difficult for you to make creative roster moves and pay guys outside of the exceptions that you may get to get good quality players. When there's so many teams that feel they can make it, they're going to have a lot of people bidding for anyone that could be left that has some upside. So that's pretty crazy. I really wonder what's going to happen. Do you buy into the people that say that, let's say D'Angelo Russell gets off to a slow start coming back from his injury. Let's say that,
Klay Thompson.
Yeah. He's not going to be back for several months. Do you buy that if Steph Curry and Klay Thompson doesn't come back this year, they say, we're not off to a hot start? Do you think they would miss the playoffs? Is that a possibility that the Warriors miss the playoffs?
I feel like I say this every year. The West is getting better and better. It's getting more and more stacked. I think that's a real possibility that they might not make it. I think they're really going to have to fight. You look at the shell. I mean, you still have Steph and Draymond. And then you have Looney, who's a good rim protector, good defender, good center. But I'm looking at these other teams. I'm like, man, they're just getting more deep, treating all their weaknesses. It's going to be a real fight for them. I feel like if Golden State makes it, they're probably going to be sitting around the 6, 7, 8 portion, depending on how Klay comes back. Because even if he comes back at the All-Star break, I don't expect him to be 100%. He might not make it to 100% until the playoffs, if at all.
Yeah, because his conditioning will be all off.
Yeah, so
got to get back in game shape, getting up and down the floor.
And then they have to get used to accommodating him as well. I think, they're definitely going to have their work cut out for them. This is really going to show how good of a coach Steve Kerr is when he doesn't have all the tools at his disposal. So
I mean, it's kind of what we say about every part of that system. You know what I mean? You take Jordan Bell out of that system there. He's not looking to be as shiny as he was when he was that rookie, where it looked like the Bulls gave away the steal of the draft.
It was like, oh my God, I can't believe they didn't have Jordan
Bell. This
guy's
guy's so good, exactly. But I mean, look at him now. He's fighting for some minutes on the Timberwolves,
fighting for a contract
this upcoming season. So who knows? And then you got teams like Sacramento. Everyone's trying this year.
Right.
Dallas, Sacramento. Sacramento's got De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield. They're freshly re-signed Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley. Maybe he takes a step forward.
I mean, you're looking at the Pelicans too. Like they're young.
The young Lakers.
But that's a team you don't want to see.
Exactly.
Like the Suns.
Oh well, let's not go too far.
I'm not getting too hype on the Suns.
Yeah, Ricky Rubio is nice man. And all. I'm a fan of the Spanish Samurai.
He'll teach them how to play defense.
Maybe not all of them though. I don't think so. But yeah, the Kings got Dwayne Dedman, solid shooter, great defender. Once was on the Spurs, so he's got those instincts. So I think there's a lot of
Ariza too, so he's got some to add to them.
They gave him a lot of money too.
They sure
did.
They
gave him like $17 million.
Yeah, so.
But that's what I was gonna say earlier. How the Mavericks gave Dwight Powell all that money. Trevor Ariza got that extra money from Sacramento. I think that's just kind of the cost of being that smaller market team. We pay twice the tax for being, and as much as Dallas doesn't want to be a smaller market team, this year they wanted to go with the free agency plan where they didn't want to go for the top free agents, right? We're not going to get Kevin Durant anyway. The Mavericks aren't going to get Kyrie Irving. The Mavericks aren't going to get Kawhi Leonard. We're not trying to angle for these meetings. Even if we got a meeting, the Mavericks probably wouldn't sign these guys, as what history says. So they're going to go after some mid-tier free agents like Patrick Beverley and Danny Green. And the cards didn't run their way. The Mavericks didn't sign those guys either. Patrick Beverley ended up taking less to stay on the Clippers. And then Danny Green, since Kawhi Leonard didn't stay in Toronto, he's going to move on. But since the Lakers didn't get Kawhi Leonard either, they have a lot more money to throw at Danny Green. So he got $15 million from the Lakers. So pretty crazy.
Speaking of the Lakers,
yeah, what about him?
it's what you guys have all been waiting on. I know y'all,
we've been on a hiatus from the Lakers half the season.
We
so
can't ignore them any longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, they finally got their fish. Their Moby Dick. They finally got their Anthony Davis.
So is LeBron James Captain Ahab here?
No, I guess so.
Or is it Rob Pelinka?
No, it ain't Rob. But yeah, LeBron finally got his big fish in AD. They also picked up DeMarcus Cousins once they kind of struck out on Kawhi. So AD and Cousins reuniting. I wonder if that's going to be enough for them, like with them picking up Danny Green as well. Do you think that's enough for them to be good contenders?
So
and
I think
how do you think this team works out?
So I'm pulling up their roster now, but they've got Danny Green, solid defender, good shooter, good outlet release valve for LeBron James when he's running the pick and roll. Anthony Davis, same thing, kicking it out. DeMarcus Cousins kicking it out from the post. Danny Green, good shot maker, right? Kyle Kuzma may not be the best efficiency, but he's going to shoot it, right? But how many guys on their team do they have that can handle the ball reliably and bring the ball off the floor? So they've got LeBron James slotted in at point guard this season. And we all know how much LeBron likes to rest on defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, conserve his body. He's like 33, 32,
He's 34.
34. Jesus Christ. And
it's year 17 for him.
we don't want him to, we want LeBron James, the Lakers want him to be at his best when it comes to the playoff run, right? Because that's what you play for. So how much rest is he going to be able to get? How effective can he be if he has to play so many minutes just making the offense go from the point guard position if they can't bolster that? Just like I said, the Clippers have to fill it out well to be a contender. So will the Lakers. Anthony Davis misses about 15 to 17 to 20 games every year. He has for the past several years. Same thing with LeBron for rest or what have you. He had his worst injury of his career just last year, the groin injury.
And we don't know if there's going to be more cropping up. So.
And we don't know about DeMarcus Cousins either. DeMarcus Cousins came back valiantly trying to play. He didn't have the best series, but he did his best, gave some effort. But you can only control a limited amount when it comes to what your body's going to allow you to do. So our injury is going to derail this first super season for the Lakers after LeBron probably regrets that thrown away year from last season. So
yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how they do. They re-signed Rondo, and they picked up Quinn Cook as well, so they got two more ball handlers. I still feel like they kind of you got LeBron, you got AD. That's two top 6 players, but I still feel like the formula for LeBron is shooters. And are they going to have enough shooters?
Yeah, definitely. And so like Quinn Cook can shoot.
He can shoot, but
Caldwell
like,
Pope,
is he going to be out there with them?
Yeah, he'll be running the second unit, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Rondo, like Rondo has shown some times where he's like, oh, he's made 3 threes this game. That's awesome. But even when he's making those 3 threes, how many other possessions where he's not making a 3 is his guy just not guarding him and is anywhere they want on the floor, knowing he's not going to shoot.
Right.
And also, he doesn't have the greatest touch around the rim most years. So what's going to happen there? Is it going to clog the lane for Anthony Davis, who wants to be able to operate? Same thing with Boogie Cousins. Same thing with LeBron James. They don't want a crowded paint. They want it spaced with shooters. And once again, like, shooting is the biggest premium in this league. And that the same is true for the Lakers. As special as their fans want them to be, they got to play by those rules. That's what today's NBA is.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like, Lakers have gotten better. Definitely getting better when you sign AD, pick up Cousins. But I still don't think this is the team they want to try to compete with. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch them and see how things improve throughout the season. But, the other team I want to look at is, speaking of Boogie, he also expressed interest in going back to Sacramento. But they were like, we're not expressing interest in bringing you back, dog. That's pretty messed up.
Hold that.
But yeah, Sacramento's looking pretty good. They re-signed Barnes. 4-year, $84 million.
Broke down that starting lineup a little bit earlier, and what I thought you were going to say was how the Lakers are looking a little bit like the Pelicans from a few years ago, and of course,
I mean, shit.
those trade partners, the Pelicans are looking a lot like the Lakers with all the Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
They even got Josh Hart out there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for them too. Seeing Zion out there dunking on Kevin Knox, ending his life.
Yeah,
Kevin Knox.
He had a little knee injury in his one of those summer league games, so they're saying they're shutting him down for the rest of the season. But I'm excited for the Pelicans, man.
Rest of summer league, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, rest of summer league. Sorry, Zion's he's alive and well. He'll be there for preseason, hopefully. But yeah, I'm excited for the Pelicans. I think Lonzo has a pretty big upside. I think he's a player who he'll get it better and he'll do better now that he's not in the spotlight of LA and LeBron. And being on a team like the Pelicans, I feel like would be the perfect fit for him because Drew Holiday's a good vet, knows he can handle ball, create, shoot, defend. And I feel like he'll be a good mentor for Lonzo. I mean, obviously you got Zion, Brandon Ingram. We'll see if he can reach his potential and be like Durant Jr. is what they're all saying.
Yeah, and so there's tons of guys still on that reservation, the Brandon Ingram reservation, where they're kind of hoping that he's going to turn the corner and show that scoring ability where you're going to have to throw two guys at him. And I really hope that those blood clots that he experienced last season don't come back and rear their
Yeah, they're saying that's just
a temporary
single instance.
for sure.
Single instance.
And I just want him to be able to put like several months of good play together so that, those questions can be eased. And if he doesn't come into his own for the Pelicans and contribute, maybe he can build up his value and show other teams in the league for his next stop that he's willing to, or he's worthy of, a good contract, his next contract, or being traded for. Because, David Griffin is, he is excited to have this good team. It looks like he's been engineering some moves to let these guys grow, but also be able to win some games, keeping Drew Holiday.
Picking up JJ Redick.
Exactly. So win some now, get some reps, but also show these guys off and think about the next moves, think about the future. So I definitely think that he wants to see Brandon Ingram ball out, whether it's for them or for another team.
Yeah, Pelicans have a bright future, man. They got a haul, and I feel like they actually – it's ironic because I feel like the team they have now is way better than any team Anthony Davis ever had, but you don't get this kind of team without
giving away Anthony Davis.
An Anthony Davis type player.
And that was the biggest haul we've ever seen with all those picks, all those.
Well,
players.
now the new biggest one is Paul George.
The Paul George one. So, and that happened within like a month of each other.
Yeah.
Man,
shit, like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was insane. Dude.
It's been a crazy offseason, guys. But yeah, man, Pelicans fans, y'all have a lot to look forward to. So fill up that arena.
So we talked about the reverse of the Anthony Davis trade, and you said Paul George just now. What do you think about what's left in Oklahoma City? Do you think it's a crater?
Blow it up. Blow it up, man. Just get them all out. Ship Westbrook off wherever you can. I know
wherever
they've been trying
you can or wherever he wants to go.
Wherever he wants to go.
How do you want to navigate? If you're Sam Presti, how do you navigate that? He's the one that stayed. Yeah. How do you navigate that situation?
I mean, you ask him where he wants to go, where his potential destinations, and see if you can get something for him. But man, I think one of the teams I heard being thrown around was Houston. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think Houston is not afraid to mix it up. There, as Daryl Morey likes to say, the Rockets GM, is that they will up their risk profile based on the chances they feel they have to, turn the tables and win a championship. And I think it's for him. He sees as wide open as it is now as we do. So I think his risk profile is going to be max. Like they'll do whatever they can, move heaven and earth. But that contract for Russell Westbrook is pretty daunting because you got to try to get near that matching salary. And he's going to be making almost, maybe. But I think what he really wants is to just add more stars, figure it out later. Even though it's all backcourt, I think he wants James Harden, Chris Paul, and Russell Westbrook out there.
Man, how does having Russell Westbrook affect their Morey ball, D'Antoni?
Shoot all the threes.
Yeah, when you got a sub 30%
that can't shoot
guy.
Threes. Yeah, that might throw things out of whack.
Russ is bringing the ball up all the time.
It's like Clint Capella and then short Clint Capella. Like, who knows? But
I'm trying to think what team would benefit from him. I think one of the ones I heard thrown around was Orlando.
Yeah, but I feel like they wouldn't do that to Russell Westbrook and bury him on a team like that. Even though they made the playoffs last season, and I feel like the Magic want to get another.
I feel like he'd be a good fit for Miami, but they need better shooters. I'm having Russ and Jimmy Butler there.
That's true, but I feel like Pat Riley, he's not so transfixed with building the next 65 win dynasty. He's only got a few years left before he calls it quits.
Calls it for good, yeah.
So I feel like if he's got another star like that, pairing him up with Jimmy Butler, put on a good show in those Vice Knights jerseys once again. And if they could move it around and get Russell Westbrook on that team with Goran Dragic or moving some other salary out of there, maybe being facilitated by the Mavericks trade exception, I think they would. So I think Russell Westbrook would be a good fit. He's a tireless worker.
Yep.
You never question his conditioning.
And you know what I'd like to see is Westbrook under an actual coaching system
That demands him to do the things that they need as opposed to things that he wants.
Exactly. So I feel like that might actually be the best move for him is going to Miami because a coach like Spoelstra with Pat Riley backing him, the Clippers, I feel like Doc Rivers could handle him pretty well. But I don't see that happening. But yeah,
and the fashion, man, South Beach fashion is made for Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, you'd love it there. But yeah, OKC, it's time to blow it up. You got your haul. You had a good try at it, but at this point, it's time to let it go. I feel like because you've got the resources now, and there's so many teams right there. They're already so strong, so well established. I feel like at this point, just trying to compete is a little.
Yeah, because unfortunately, they succumbed to injuries in the last month of the season. They went like 3-15 to close out the season and tanked their way down to the 7th seed, I believe.
Yeah.
What seed were they?
They were 7th.
Yeah, 7th seed. And
Clippers were 8.
Yeah, unfortunately, with all those injuries to Paul George after he was playing so well, but it felt like to me as though it's like they got a first round exit last year, losing to the Jazz. First round exit this year. Do you think it would be different this coming year?
Exactly, when the West is continuing to improve. Yeah, I just feel like it's time to hang it up.
Yeah, so the picks that they got out of that, they got
5 picks, 2 swaps.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
they got unprotected picks from Los Angeles in 2022, 2024, and 2026, alternating years to fit under the collective bargaining agreement. They got swap rights with the Clippers in 2023 and 2025. And then they got 2 picks from the Heat that the Clippers had accumulated in previous trades in 2021 and 2023. The 2023 pick is the only one that's protected. It's lottery protected. So, yeah, I think if I was the Oklahoma City front office, like, I'm relieved. As much as they want to win, as much as they love Russell Westbrook on a personal level, I feel like they saw the ceiling with the contracts that they've given out. Steven Adams, as good of a player as he is, as much as I like seeing him, doesn't hold a lot of value with what the center position provides in today's game. Like we just saw that Kevon Looney is making $5 million a year for 3 years,
and he's like
making
super skilled.
Yeah, very skilled. Is he 85% of what Steven Adams can give you at a third of the price? Not even a third, 1/5 of the price.
Right.
So pretty crazy. And so I think I'm relieved if I'm them. If they can move on from Russell Westbrook and just really get a rebuild going with all these picks, I mean, why not? I mean, we know they can draft well. They drafted Kevin Durant. They drafted Russell Westbrook. They drafted James Harden. Give them another shot.
Yeah.
Ibaka, yeah.
Start all over.
Got a good history, so that's kind of what I agree with you. They should see what they can do about tearing it down, because this lineup of Westbrook, Terrence Ferguson, Danilo Gallinari, good player. Fill out the box score. Get some points and trade him off to a good team. Maybe get
if he stays healthy, get rid of him. Get some more resources for him.
Pick. Patrick Patterson, he hasn't been good in 2 years since he came from Toronto with those leg injuries. So just unfortunate. So I think it's the end of the road. What if Dennis Schroeder, him? He's pretty good on good nights, but definitely not super efficient. There's a reason that Atlanta wanted to get off his contract. But I feel like he's a player that certain teams can definitely talk themselves into needing.
Right.
Somebody like the Phoenix Suns, somebody like the Lakers. They need someone to run the pick and roll. Get Dennis Schroeder. See if they can get off that money. Maybe get a 2nd round pick out of it.
Yep.
It's not somebody that they want. So,
the Lakers got any picks left?
No, you're right. I forgot about that. So that's kind of what I'm seeing there. Any other teams in the West or the East that you really want to hit on at this moment, Andre?
I'm trying to think. Not really.
So I've got a few teams here, and I guess we'll go a little more rapid fire. I'll just name the team, and you just tell me if there's something that sticks out in your mind for this upcoming season, something that you want to see about them.
All right.
And I think they're teams that we talked about already, so I think you have some high hopes for some of these teams.
All right, let's go.
So what do you want to see from the Atlanta Hawks next year?
Atlanta Hawks. I want to see.
They got Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Alex Len, Jabari Parker from Washington, Cam Reddish, their new draft pick, Alan Crabb from Brooklyn, and Jalen Adams backing up Trae Young.
Oh, Chandler Parsons, you forgot.
Oh yeah, my
You
bad.
forgot about my man.
The young god.
The young god.
Handsome Chandler.
The Suns.
The Hawks.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. The Hawks. Oh my god. The Suns. Yeah, I want to see if their defensive intensity, they were fun to watch last season, watching Trey run up and down the court, create some fantastic plays for his teammates and stuff. But the offense was there, but I want to see them consistently shut things down on the defensive end. I feel like they gave up a lot on that end.
Yeah, definitely. And when the tip of the spear is Trae Young, like he's undersized. He's
Right.
gonna be able to take advantage of, be taken advantage of by a lot of players. I think that they're sneakily a good market for prospective free agents in the future. Like people want to play with a guy like Trae Young that can dish out the ball, is unselfish, and can shoot and isn't a detractor like Rajon Rondo or Russell Westbrook. Plus, players like being in Orlando. Some guys hang out there in the off season, kind of like they go to LA or they go to Miami. So exactly. So that's kind of what I see. I want to see what they turn into. There's a cool arena, cool jerseys, good music.
And Atlanta, I mean, it's a city that, like you said, it's a large market. It's not really a small market. So,
what do you want to see from the Portland Trailblazers next year?
Portland
we got to fill in for JV.
2 years in a row, man. Will Dame be able to handle the double team? Did they get another? So I feel like Portland, they do well until they reach that last team in the playoff. When Dame gets double teamed and they can't get their offense going, will they be able to do that again this year? Because I feel like Portland, they've been pretty good. Like regular season team, they've been pretty good. Like
yeah, and I think
they've just been losing at the highest level. That's it.
Yeah, I think CJ really stepped up last year as a secondary creator. I wonder if Nurkic can come back and be, their second best player like he was during some months of that last season. He's come back from that pretty major injury. They signed Hassan Whiteside. Do you think Hassan Whiteside's going to be able to do anything? We didn't think Enes Kanter was going to be able to do anything. Do you think he's going to be able to step into that kind of role of stationary rim protector?
Yeah, he's going to be a better defender around the rim. You're not going to be able to – bigs aren't going to be able to bully him and do him how they want as they could with Kanter. But
you think he'll be bought in?
See, that's the problem. The consistent effort from Whiteside is the next biggest issue. And is he going to have a problem coming off the bench?
Well, he'll be starting at first because
because Nurkic is injured.
Exactly.
But
what about 1 week?
Yeah, so there might be some tension there.
Yeah. What if Zach Collins surplants him? Terry Stotts wants to make a move, or Hassan Whiteside's not giving all the effort in practice, so they put Zach Collins in to start. You wonder if that'll make tempers flare.
I feel like if Whiteside gets along with Dame's a good enough leader where he should be able to keep that locker room in check.
Yeah, so. I agree. They got Anthony Tolliver. They got Kent Bazemore, 2 solid additions. Tolliver's a good shooter. Yeah. I think they
still have Rodney Hood.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they upgraded their roster from a shooting standpoint because so many games last season, and I'm sure JV can attest to this. If Aminu or Harkless aren't making their shots, it's that much harder to win because they don't have a release valve from when CJ or Damian Lillard draw the attention. You know what I mean? So I think just by getting those two guys that can definitely stroke it, I think that's definitely looking up for them.
Yeah.
Their defense, of course, is going to be tough. I doubt they'll be able to outscore every team they run across.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they could definitely take a step forward.
I think they're a lot more balanced this time.
Yeah, and so their run this year in the playoffs was a pretty favorable one. I think they'd tell you that.
Yeah, they had a good.
They got to play Oklahoma City with injured Paul George. Damian Lillard hit that awesome shot. Young Nuggets team, exactly, and they worked hard. They played their asses off, and they definitely won that series. If they have teams that are not at a disadvantage in that way, I still think they could give a similar fight the way they did this year, if everything kind of holds true for this upcoming roster. So to continue on a little bit more, what do you want to say? Anything you want to say about the Dallas Mavericks for this coming year? They re-signed Kristaps Porzingis.
I mean, everything
are running it back.
Everything was pretty much expected. I was happy to see us pick Seth back up. I think that's a good pickup. Any team would like to have a player like that who can, shoot the three ball at 45%, create a little bit. That's a pretty good player. Missed out on Danny Green, missed out on Kawhi Leonard. You got to take the good with the bad, though.
Yeah, and so JJ Barea was making the hay for the Mavericks near the end of the year, and he's injured. He's going to come back next season, maybe towards the end of the year. I wonder how many years he's got left. But the Mavericks just signed and traded for DeLon Wright from Memphis. So at point guard, they got DeLon Wright, Seth Curry, Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson's a good, steady hand, not scared of the moment, able to shoot during big moments, and able to drive to the ring, kind of like JJ Barea, undersized as well. But I'm excited for DeLon Wright because Luka Doncic handles the ball magnificently, able to pass, get that cross-court pass from one side of the free throw line to the opposite corner beautifully, able to shoot, not afraid. But on defense, he's a big dude. He can get his hands into the right spots, but not the most fleet of foot. I'm excited for DeLon Wright to be guarding the more difficult of the pairings.
Right.
Playing the point guard, but able to guard the more dangerous player and kind of make it easier on Luka Doncic. So I'm kind of excited for that signing.
And I know Justin Jackson really started, coming into his own towards the end of the season. Obviously, we were tanking by them, but I'm excited about this team.
We got Bobby.
We did get Bobby. We got a movie star.
Yeah, exactly. I went to go visit
went toe to toe with John Wick.
I went to go visit the public library and I saw where that scene was shot.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was pretty cool. So hopefully I get to see Bobby around town and just say what's up and see how huge his hands are.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that guy.
In person.
It's gonna be great.
Okay. Anything you want to say about the San Antonio Spurs? They're running it back for the most part as well.
Hopefully they'll be full strength this season. They picked up DeMar Carroll and Marcus Morris.
Mm-hmm. DeJounte Murray coming back from his injury.
Yeah, DeJounte. They're saying he's improved a ton. They said that last season. What was it? Torn meniscus with him and ACL? Was it both?
I don't think it was both. I'll have to double check.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how his offense has come along. And like his claim to fame in the past was like he's a good defender for a point guard. He can create. But I think something the Spurs have struggled with is they're a system team, but they need their offensive. They need more offensive threats, not just DeMar DeRozan and Rudy Gay. They're really good. I'm not trying to downplay them. They're really good. They got good post game, good 2-game jump shot.
Well, what if DeJounte Murray is stroking it, and then also we see more from Derek White like we saw in that Denver series?
Derek White
just streaking by guys.
I'd like to see some more consistency from him because he came into his own against Denver, but they're both pretty young guys. Derek White, what was that? This will be his third season. I'm interested to see how they come up because pretty much I feel like DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge, they are who they are. Jakob Poeltl, Jakob Poeltl,
like turtle.
Jakob Poeltl. That guy's got he's got some room to grow too, and he was doing some nice stuff. So I'm excited to see how their young guys are coming along.
Yeah, and the rookie from last year, Lonnie Walker, had his leg injury last year, and I wonder how he's going to progress after his full off season rehabbing and if he can make an impact this year under Popovich. Just to go to the East real quick, Boston Celtics. They lost Terry Rozier. I think that
they got Kemba.
Some people might say is a positive. Kemba Walker coming from Charlotte after the dumpster fire that is Charlotte signed Terry Rozier for more money than Kemba Walker has ever made as a Hornet.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh my
the
God.
ceiling is the roof.
Oh my God.
Whoever, people can say what they want about Kyrie Irving. Mercurial, polarizing. Don't know what you're going to get for one game to the next, given his health, given the kind of attitude that he might have towards the young guys or dividing the locker room. Who knows what that kind of lost season last year, where you can really direct the blame, although Brad Stevens might say it's on him. Kemba Walker is a really good player, undersized, kind of like Kyrie Irving. I think on Kemba Walker's best days, he's a very good player in comparison to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving's still better, in my opinion, as far as his production from night to night, shooting, attracting the defense, and just getting to the rim. So I feel like as good as Kemba Walker is, it's not going to be better than what they had with Kyrie Irving, although he's probably not going to be mixing up the locker room as much.
Now, I want to say, I feel like if that team was exactly the same as last season, but swap Kemba and Kyrie, I feel like they're definitely way better.
Do you think so?
Just because of team synergy.
You don't think it's just subtracting Terry
Well,
Rozier?
take Terry Rozier out too.
Okay.
Take Terry out, take Kyrie out, and put Kemba in. I think they're way better.
Do you think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum take steps forward?
I feel like Jaylen Brown already has.
He was playing well at the end of last season.
Last season, 17-18, people were saying Tatum, he's the GOAT.
Yeah,
like he's
10-time All-Star Tatum.
Jordan reborn.
Let's put him in the Hall of Fame right now.
But this season, Jaylen Brown looks like he's taking that next step, and he's the one who's improving. Terry seems like he's been speaking too much to Kobe.
You mean Jason?
Yeah, Jason Tatum has been so.
I mean, defending hard in the right spots, not afraid of the moment, shooting the threes, going to the hole. Like Jaylen Brown may not be as polished or as talented as Jason Tatum appears to be when creating in isolation, but I definitely think Jaylen Brown took a step forward and kind of refound his confidence. I think Jason Tatum has a chance to do it this year too. What if Gordon Hayward is able to put it together consistently after this full offseason?
I think Gordon's gonna get it together, but what's really hurting the Celtics is losing Horford. Cantor, he's good. He's gonna give you points, but man, having a defensive anchor like Horford, that's pretty much who gave them their edge against like the Sixers and the Bucks.
Predict what's going to happen. Yeah, exactly.
Like a savvy vet guy,
Yeah, I think they're going to have a tough time.
They're going to miss him a lot
at the rim. Yeah, exactly. And then especially defending in space. So we were saying that Hassan Whiteside won't have to move very much, being a defender for the Portland Trailblazers because that's not their style. But with the Celtics, they do got to switch at times. They do got to coordinate this, switch the pick and roll. Things like that. So I think Enes Kanter's going to have a pretty tough sledding, and I wonder how they're going to be able to make up for that. Yeah. Losing Al Horford's IQ too.
Definitely got their work cut out for them. But, they still got Marcus Smart. They're good at other portions, but, missing Horford's definitely hurt more than I feel like losing Kyrie.
I think there's just one more team that I want to ask you about. What do you think is going to happen? We mentioned it a little bit earlier with their re-signing, but we talked about the Miami side of things. What's going to happen with, in your opinion, with the Sixers this coming season?
That's my team, man. Yeah, I think they're going to the final.
You think so?
I think it's
over
their time.
Over the Bucks.
I think it's their time.
You think that?
I think Giannis will improve, but I also think the Sixers are going to improve a lot as well.
What about Tobias Harris? He's going to be slotted up in the rotation. It's like a quarterback. You rip out the first string guy, the second guy's got to move up, and the third stringer is the backup now. Tobias Harris has moved up in the depth chart.
I feel like he'll do well there. The biggest issue I feel like with the Sixers was they didn't get enough time to really play together healthily, so they couldn't really get that synergy. And you saw them, like all the teams were improving during the playoffs as they went on, and you could start to see more and more how they begun to feed off of each other and improve and understand how each other plays and what's the most efficient route to that. And I feel like Tobias did pretty well. He had his games where he went off, he got his, and if they can consistently get that from him, especially without Jimmy, I think they'll be good. And Tobias, he's a player. He's gotten better every season. He always adds something more to his game. So I think people are going to laugh about that contract and stuff, but I think it's a good signing for them because you need that type of player, especially like a 4 who can like shoot like that. That's something you want. Even though he's going to leave a hole there defensively. He's easily the worst defender out of their starting lineup. But
he's the worst.
The rest of them are so good that it doesn't matter.
He's the worst one, but it's not as though he doesn't try.
Yeah, no, it's not like he doesn't try. I'm not gonna fault the guy too much, but like they can accommodate.
Yeah, and I think it really comes down to what kind of shape Joel Embiid's going to be. Like we can't be, if the Sixers are going to go 4 rounds deep in the playoffs and try to win the title, I don't think they can be able to not be able to rely on Joel Embiid playing more than 30 minutes and huffing and puffing and ask, needing a timeout, needing to get his breath, having sickness from whatever he was eating, whatever it might be. He's got to be ready to play and not have that be a question. And I know it's tough at his height and at his weight, but I think it's on him. We saw the passion that he had, breaking down into tears at the end of that series.
He even changed his social media profile picture to him crying.
Exactly. So
let's see if that sticks.
I wonder. So
I expect more from him. I think as much as I wanted them to win, I feel like them losing was the best thing that could have happened to them because they needed that.
Yeah, it's how you get the reps, right?
Yep. And same with Giannis, man. He was mad. They finally won their first series to make it to the conference finals, but I don't know. those two teams are gonna be going at it. I think for the next couple of years.
So I
I
know
like the Sixers.
I know the
Giannis gonna lose so he can come to Dallas.
So, okay. Well, okay. Now that we're in the realm of the absurd, let's go ahead and reel this back into earth. What do you think? As crazy as the playoff picture seems, it's going to be in the West. We don't know who's going to be in or out of the bubble. East, things are shaking up. We don't know what's going to happen over there either. But if you had to predict the top 4 seeds in both conferences, what would you predict for East and West?
So East,
in order.
I'll do Sixers, Bucks.
As 1, and then
Sixers
Bucks
1, Bucks 2, Pacers 3.
Pacers 3.
Pacers 3.
With Malcolm Brogdon.
And then Oladipo.
Back for a full year.
Yep. And 4, I will say Boston.
Not the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot they're real now.
Hey, man. DeAndre Jordan on there, but even though I think Jared Allen's better, more energy, more effort.
I mean, yeah, they still got Karis LeVert. It's hard to rule them out, but I don't know. I'm still going to say Boston. I'm going to say Boston 4 and Brooklyn 5.
And the Pacers 3.
Yeah, if KD was there, then definitely. But
and when was the last time the Pacers were the 3rd seed? Or above?
A couple months ago, actually.
Weren't they the 4th seed?
They were by the end of the series, yeah. Or by the end of the season.
I mean for the playoffs is what I mean. Okay, so
it's been a while since maybe Paul George years.
Paul George, Roy Hibbert years.
Yeah, was that 2013?
David West.
But
okay, so that's the
I like the
Eastern
Pacers.
Conference. What do you think about the Western Conference? Who do you
Western
have
Conference? I like the Clippers at 1. I don't know about the Rockets, man. Like, I just don't know about them no more, man.
Hey, man, they got continuity. They're running it back.
I guess. But, like,
why you sounding like that?
It's like the expectations were so high for them, and then they finally have their chance, and then they just, I don't know, man. That's a hard loss to shake. But
I don't think that they're gonna carry that with them. If it can't be harder than that Game 7 loss where they missed 17 threes in a row.
But then you got to combine both of those.
No,
you got that, and then you lost.
These are grown professionals, man. No way.
Maybe we just can't do it. But no, let's. So I got Clippers first. I want to say Lakers.
Okay, I mean, it's still 2. Lakers 2.
Lakers 2. No, I got Denver at 2.
Wow,
Denver at 2.
I predicted that last season.
Denver at 2.
And did I get it right?
I mean, they were 2.
Yeah.
Denver at 2. I like Lakers at 3. And then 4, I will say Utah.
I was wondering if you're going to bring up the Jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They look exciting. Mike Conley, his most effective year remaining on the contract probably. Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, Royce O'Neal can shoot it. Bogdanovich can shoot it. Jeff Green can shoot at times. He's a little streaky. And then, Ed Davis. So, yeah. It looks like they're alleviating that problem where there's no offense.
No.
So, yeah, I'm excited for that too. So, cool. There goes your early predictions.
What about you, man? Let's get yours.
Oh, I mean, so for me, I was going to say the Rockets.
You like the Rockets at 1?
Not at 1. I'll go reverse order. Rockets in 4. The Jazz in the 3rd seed, and then the 2 LA teams for 2 and 1. I think the Lakers would get the 2nd seed, and the Clippers would be the 1 seed.
I feel like the Lakers, they're gonna have to figure it out first. You know how all LeBron teams are. We're losing.
Yeah, but I do envision them going on like a 12-win streak to kind of celebrate the fact that they're, coming together, more cohesion. I see that happening maybe around January, maybe after March, and really kind of putting the clamps on that 2 seed, possibly if LeBron is really, really motivated. Can't really bet against him as far as being able to impose his will when he really wants to, given his health, as long as his health permits. So that's what I think for the Western Conference. For the Eastern Conference, I wish I could put the Raptors in there. I wish they could run the title back and see how far they could get. But I think for the 4 seed, I'm going to go ahead and put in the Brooklyn Nets. I think they're really solid. I think Kyrie Irving can really do something good for them, given he gives them enough games. He usually plays, 65 games, something like that. Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, I think with some health, I think they could be really, really, really good. A slightly more motivated DeAndre Jordan. So them at the 4. I think for the 3 seed, I will go ahead and slot in. I'll slot in
3C. The Pacers. You know it. You know it's the Pacers.
No, I think I'll put the Celtics in there. Even though we said they have that hole, I think they're gonna do well. I think Brad Stevens is gonna be able to relish.
I think it'll be easier for him.
A team that's not bursting at the seams.
Kyrie and Terry.
Yeah, exactly. And then the 2 seed, I'll have the 76ers. I think that giant lineup full of great defenders is gonna carry them far when it comes to the regular season. And then the Milwaukee Bucks with another year under their belt, able to see what the playoffs bring, and knowing how important getting that 1 seed can be when it comes to their seeding. I think they'll be desperate to do it again.
All right, you guys heard it right here. It is July 9th. Next season is the season Ben Simmons makes a 3-pointer.
Maybe one. Man, I rewatched that game where
he's gonna make it this year, 2019.
Jeez. So before
January 2020, Ben Simmons will have made a 3-pointer.
Yeah, let's write that one down. All right, guys. So
I need to put that on the wall. Post-it notes.
Yeah, that's the TNT guys.
Yeah.
So that's the end of our free agency kind of recap for us at this point. We're gonna have some more things happen in the coming days as the Lakers and Clippers and teams like that kind of round out the rosters. See if there's anything notable at that time. Maybe something blockbuster can happen. Who knows with this NBA? In the meantime, guys, we've
Westbrook to the Clippers.
Well, yeah, Westbrook to back to the Seattle Supersonics. So in the meantime, guys, hit us at our email address. That's shotcallershow@gmail.com. Shotcallershow@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter. That's @shotcallershow. Hit the hashtag shotcallershow. Thanks for being a baller. Thanks for joining the Baller Nation. Please follow us wherever you find your podcast. Tell your friends in real life. Say, hey, you like the NBA? Listen to these guys. They like the NBA too. Tweet us, get at us. Let us know what you think for next season. Whatever you want to say.
Yeah, give us your top 4 teams.
Yeah, exactly. Positive feedback, whatever. Anything you want to say. So for this episode, guys, we're signing off. This has been Andre.
And that's Richard.
Y'all have a good night.
Now,
we got the faces for radio.
Oh, and the voice for newspaper.